What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. Tokyo Ghoul 61 and 62. We've been fully captured by Jason, kind of gave ourselves up to save others who were they were ordered to be killed. I don't know if those people actually end up getting killed, if Kaneki saves them after the fact. I don't know how we would get there in time. But yeah, the full transformation is about to start. The whole like cracking knuckles, I am a ghoul, 1,000 minus, we all know. Been a lot of stuff included here that was not included in the anime. I think everything, honestly, I feel like since the gourmet fight up until now was like just never included. So we're here. The CCG is here, and they've also broken through as well. So every kind of major player that has been name dropped or mentioned or that we've seen is like all convening on the same place right now. I truly forget how it goes down, other than us beating the shit out of Jason, but then like how we get out of here, how other ghouls don't get captured, who of the doves die, etc., etc. I have no idea kind of who all gets like caught in the crossfire of all this. Let's see what we get. Go over here, press play on that, turn the volume up just a little bit there, come over here, turn it down. We are recording. Okay, chapter 61. Okay. Be somebody who knows pain instead of somebody who hurts. You don't need to be rewarded if you have love and kindness in your heart. That's all kind people need to be happy. I was about to say, do we ever get backstory on him? Like he never visits parents or runs into them. Are they both just not alive in his life? Somebody who knows pain instead of somebody who hurts? Oh shit. White hair, chained up and all. About a dozen days before the 11th Ward Special Task Force raided the Aogiri Tree's hideout. A dozen days. What am I supposed to do? Not that much. I just need you to quietly listen to me. That's it. Okay, so this took place so he was getting tortured for almost 10 straight days. That's it. That's it. I can't help but think he chose me for a reason. Come on in. Just this open room with a chair. The Griffith? God. Is he dead? He's one of my men. Punishment for screwing up. Or is it just collected fingers that grow back and shit that he just keeps cutting? Yeah. You know what this is? RC suppressant used for ghoul dissection and surgeries. So it pretty much takes the ghoul out of you, slows down the healing, the regen, all of it. Especially made by the medical branch of the CCG. Once this enters the body, ghoul's RC cells activity is suppressed. The body's resistance is lost, and making an incision becomes easy, almost like a human. Yeah. But a normal needle can't penetrate a ghoul's skin. Do you know where I inject them? No, you don't. What an injection? He just go in our eye? He just go in our eye? He did. What are you? It's weak for ghouls too. I thought he was injecting lava into me. The needle pierced the corner of my eye. Imagine the absolute worst pain. Yamori was after me from the start. He chose me for his sick enjoyment. Oh, I read one of those wrong. Imagine the absolute worst pain. This is beyond that. Oh god, here we go. I don't remember it being this well, I guess because I know what's coming. I feel more of an anxious build up here than I do when I watch it in the anime for the first time. It was exactly as he said. Pliers and large scissors, tools most likely used on people in a situation like this. 573, 566. Easily pinched off my body parts. Yeah. As Yomori was torturing me, he ordered me to count backwards from 1,000 at intervals of 7 out loud. That's the classic, just Tokyo Ghoul. Like, it's so well known. Like that specific line right there. He ordered me to count backwards from 1,000 at intervals of 7 out loud. It helps keep your mental a little there, you know. At first I didn't understand why, but I realized it was to keep me as sane as possible. Exactly. It gives you something to focus on. Remember what number you're at, how much, like you're really sitting there, like really using your mental as you're getting fucked up, but at least it's not letting you completely just drift into the abyss mentally. I found myself clinging to those numbers, using my head to help distract me a little. With my ghoul power suppressed, it was my human side feeling the pain. So painful it would drive anybody crazy. I had forgotten how fragile humans were. When the injection wore off, Yomori fed me. What did he feed you? He waited for my injuries to heal. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be reading here. My arms, fingers, they grow back like fingernails or hair. He was taking whole arms off? I never knew it was that. I always thought it was just toes and fingers. I didn't know he was taking whole arms. Once they were back to normal, he'd inject me again. That went on, over and over and over. Every time they would grow back, I was reminded that I was truly a monster. When he says fed him, what did he feed him? Like, because we've been purposely not partaking in like the consumption of human meat, you know? I don't see anything here that's showing him being fed anything specifically. I'm curious. I wanted them to expand on that a little bit. Damn, I want to kill him. Should I finish him off? No, I can't. It's too much fun. No. I need to control myself. If he dies, I can't have fun anymore. So I can't. I have to control myself. Nico, a ghoul by that name, would be called over every time Yomori would get overly excited and have his gut pierced. Oh, to let out the excitement. And then he can kind of like, oh, okay, now that I had that cigarette, back to it. I'm assuming in order to not break his newfound toy. Yeah. And here it comes. That was Yomori's way of self-control. Damn. Nico really that dedicated to the cause, huh? I guess so. When will that be me? If I had some kind of secret, and if this were a way to get that secret out of me, maybe it wouldn't have been as bad. Yeah, he's not even asking for information or anything. Like, he's literally just doing it. Torture without purpose, when torture itself is the purpose. What else besides despair is there to feel? Oh, Kaneki, it's that time again. How do you think I discovered the pleasure of giving pain? I'm assuming he went through it himself. Do you want to know? Do you? I guess you do. I messed up and got sent to the Ghoul Detention Center in the 23rd Ward, back before I was called Jason. I knew the ins and outs of the 13th Ward, so I was kept alive and avoided being euthanized. I think clowns being in power had something to do with it. There was an investigator there with a screw loose. He was human, but he was crazy. He's cracking the knuckles. Every disadvantage in the world is from the lack of competence. The weak were trampled on, impinged upon, violated, and abused. When you go through a long, painful life of torture, you try desperately to find ways to escape the pain. And I mean desperate. I decided to think of myself not as Yomori the Ghoul, but as the investigator torturing me. Eventually I couldn't tell if it was me feeling or inflicting the pain. I sensed the strange feelings of oneness with him. One day when he let his guard down, our roles switched in reality. It lasted only an hour, but it really felt like I had become a human. I can't forget the excitement I felt then. It's a pretty wild shot, I'm not gonna lie. I learned about the injection and how to torture ghouls there. These days I search for ways to make it more enjoyable. Both humans and ghouls are so fragile they die easily. But you're one of the good ones. Rize's Kagune is special, even among Rinkaku. So it's so much fun. Kaneki, I don't know if you've noticed, but its regenerative property is extraordinary. Thanks to the doctor's experiment. What kind of experiment do you think it was? There are a few like you. With Kano fleeing yesterday, a few things became clear. Kano is using Rize to make ghouls. The experiment is still happening. Chinese red-headed centipede, do you know it? It's the largest centipede found in Japan. Oh fuck, here we go. Some grow to be over 20 centimeters. I want to stick him in your ear, is that alright? Okay. Please no. Don't. Please not that. Then I heard somebody laughing in the background. It was me. Yeah, at that point. And what's wild is, like, after everything he's been through, like he said, you know, just over and over and over again, that he would even have a mental to want to resist something. At that point, it's just like, oh, you want to stick something in my ear? Okay. Like, he still has enough mental left to freak out about something, you know? Ay, 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 ay. What a relief it would be if I could just lose my mind. Kill me, please kill me. I can see everybody's faces on the back of my eyelids. Banjo, everybody at Inteku. I wonder if Toka's doing alright. I hope she is. If she isn't, Hide, haven't seen him in a while. Wonder how he's doing. Somebody who knows pain instead of somebody who hurts. Did I grow up the way you wanted me to? What is it that's so boring? Is this Rize? Who is that? Don't you just think to hell with him, don't you? Yeah, there she is. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. That was a pretty wild chapter, I'm not gonna lie. I can't remember if the anime torture scene is that gritty. It's pretty bad though, for sure. Because again, you're adding movement and voice acting to it, and I just remember like Kaneki sitting in that chair in the anime, like stomping his feet on the ground, screaming at the top of his lungs, and yeah. Now, is this really happening, or is he gone? Has he so mentally lost it that he's summoned her in his head, or is this something that would have actually happened to him regardless of him getting tortured or not? Like at some point he was going to run into like the manifestation of Rize within his mind, or he's just actually lost it that much. Your hair, it's all gray. It's funny. Rize, you're alive. Somebody who knows pain instead of somebody who hurts. You actually take that to heart. That's what my mother taught me, so... And you've been living by those words? Whose funeral could that be? She's seeing all the memories. Dad, I didn't know you lost your father. Yeah, I was 4. I barely remember his face, to be honest. Okay, so now we got the answer on the dad. I remember putting his bones in an urn, but I didn't really know what it meant. All I remember is that something very frightening was happening. I felt a vague sense of fear. Tell me about it. I never really felt lonely not having a father, but I wondered what he was like. Dad was an avid reader and had a lot of books. When I read my dad's books, it felt like I was talking to him. It was strangely calming. The smell of old books still makes me feel that way. I think that's when I learned to love reading. Look, a play's about to start. She's getting all the memory. Who's that? Hey, that's me. You're so cute. I think you're playing the lead. They forced me to. When I said I knew the story of this play, everybody told me to play the lead. You didn't say no. All my classmates wanted me to. I couldn't say no. Hide. What's he playing? The Witch's Servant? The play ended up being surprisingly good, I remember. You wanted to know about my mother? Let's see. Whenever there were hard kanji, she'd spell each one out for me and teach me what they meant. She was always nice. I wasn't lonely growing up in a single parent family. Because of her and all the books my dad left behind, she was really an admirable person. How does she go? She worked, did the housework, never troubled anybody. She never put on a sour face, treated everybody equally, kindly. I was so proud of her. She was a good cook too. I always looked forward to dinner. I especially loved the hamburger steak. Yeah. Them and that hamburger steak, which he can never enjoy again. I can't even remember what it tastes like anymore. Yeah. There's no way to remember now. But was your mother really a kind and admirable person? Oh, I remember this now. We start seeing her in a different light, and he's like, wait a minute. What do you mean? What's that money? Remittance? To whom? Her older sister, my aunt. She didn't have much financial leeway, so she begged my mother for help. My son's tuition? We need a new refrigerator, I'm sorry. We weren't that well off either, but still. I don't think my mother could turn her back on her. While my aunt's husband lost his job while in debt, my mother's burden grew even larger. She had a part-time job during the day and worked as a janitor at night. She even did a side job at home in between. Mom, shouldn't you get some rest? I'm okay. I never saw her take a break. She just worked herself to death. It was exhaustion. It wasn't an illness. She just worked too much. Did she really have to push herself so hard? At 10 years old, I was all alone. Damn. So who looked after him? I was taken in by my aunt's family. She said it was the least she could do. Ken will be part of our family now. It'll be great for Yuchi to have somebody to play with too. My aunt of the Osaka family. They welcomed me into their family. I was lonely back then, so I was happy. So happy. I thought she was a kind person like my mom. I tried to become a part of the family too. Is this your test, Ken? Yeah. You're smart like my little sister. I wish Yuchi were more like you. I'll fix something you like for dinner tonight. So I studied even harder. I thought she'd be proud of me again, but instead she said something unexpected. What are you trying to do? Trying to rub it in my face? Here we go. What, her only son Yuchi wasn't doing too well in school? She compared me to him and got upset. Actually, she was comparing herself to my mother. That little goody two-shoes, you're not even my child, so why should I even care about you? Her sense of inferiority was directed at me. Eventually that house became a very uncomfortable place. Damn. Nobody in this family cares about me. My only family was my mother and my father. They are no longer here. I didn't have many friends. Hide was the only person I could lean on. We'd usually talk about stupid stuff, but you know about ghouls, right? Yeah, but not much. If you were a ghoul, would you eat Yoshikawa in class too? The girl you like? No, and I don't like her either. I can't say how much his friendship meant to me. Oh god, and then we end up losing him. What is this, the Whale 1? That's taking us to the Dark Continent here? What is this? It must have been lonely for you. I don't know, maybe it was. But you may lose that dear friend of yours because of you. What? The master is here. I'll see you later. Oh, shit. Okay. Kaneki, I figured it out. I figured it out in the past few days. You are quite tough physically and emotionally, and so I decided to try something a little different. This is when he brings in the people, right? What do you think of this? Yeah. A mother and child. Was it mother and I remember being like boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife in the story. Look at the craziness they just put on this man's face. Why are his eyes so far separated? Oh shit. Which one should I kill? You choose. I can't remember if like it ends up being the if it ends up being just the parent child. I remember like there being like a husband and a wife, or a boyfriend and a girlfriend, that are in there like bringing Kaneki his food, like wiping him down after the fact, kind of like almost building a sense of like relationship or feeling bad for him, having a connection. And then Jason takes those two and he's like, pick one, the man or the woman. And I think he ends up picking, he doesn't end up picking either, or the man's like yelling, kill me, kill me, kill me instead, and Jason kills the woman. And then the man goes crazy and he kills the man too, all in front of Kaneki, because Kaneki couldn't choose one, so he ends up killing both. I could have that completely incorrect, I have no idea. It's starting though. That chapter 61 is some brutal stuff too, especially if you don't know what's coming. I feel like that could be a hard read through. I don't know if it's as deep and dirty as some of like the Berserk stuff gets, but it's up there. But yeah, we'll leave it there and see. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, favorite, subscribe, and as always,